Okay, so chapter 8, thinking in a certain way. Now remember how we are all a thinking center, and what we think about becomes a law unto us. We literally embody and become the things that we think about most of the time. Now chapter 8, thinking in a certain way. Turn back to chapter 6 and read again the story of the man who formed a mental image of his house, and you will get a fair idea in the initial step towards getting rich. You must form a clear and definite mental picture of what you want. You cannot transmit an idea unless you have it yourself. Remember that vision. Create that vision. You have to visualize it. That is the only way you can impress it upon yourself, and that is the only way of letting the universe know what it is that you want. Because in reality, you are the universe, embodied in a physical form. Everything is made out of energy. You yourself are not the exception. Consciousness. Consciousness is a self-aware unit of energy. And that is what you are. You are conscious. Are you not conscious of being? Are you not aware of the things that are happening? You know, your body is something completely separate from you. You know, you live in this mechanism, and it's amazing. And yeah, let's go ahead and keep reading what this chapter has in store for us. You must form a clear and definite mental picture of what you want. You cannot transmit an idea unless you have it yourself. You must have it before you can give it, and many people fail to impress thinking substance because they themselves only have a vague and misty concept of the things they want to do, to have, or to become. It is not enough that you should have a general desire for wealth, quote, to do good things, quote, to do good with, end quote. Everybody has that desire. It is not enough that you should have a wish to travel, see things, live more, etc. Everybody has those desires also. If you were going to send a wireless message to a friend, you would not send the letters of the alphabet in their order and let him construct the message for himself, nor would you take words at random from the dictionary. You would send a coherent sentence, one which meant something. When you try to impress your wants upon substance, remember that it must be done by a coherent statement. You must know what you want, and be definite. You can never get rich or start the creative power into actions by sending out unformed longings and vague desires. If you have a vague desire, remember infinite intelligence, the original substance that he talks about, the universe, literally mirrors you, what you want, what your desires are. It is the nature of infinite intelligence to respond to you. If you have weak desires and weak wants for something, it has no choice but to reflect weak desires and weak wants back to you. But if you have a strong desire and a strong want to accomplish something, then it has nothing to reflect, no choice but to reflect strong wants and strong desires back to you, getting you closer and bringing things closer to you even quicker to help you get and achieve whatever it is that you have set to attain in your goal in mind. Go over your desires just as a man I have described went over his house. See just what you want and get a clear mental picture of it as you wish it to look when you get it. That clear mental picture you must have continually in mind. As a sailor has in mind the port towards which he is sailing the ship, you must keep your face toward it at all times. You must no more lose sight of it than the steersman loses sight of the compass. It is not necessary to take exercises in concentration, nor to set apart special times for prayer and affirmation, nor to, quote, go into the silence, end quote, nor to do occult stunts of any kind. Their things are well enough, but all you need to do is know what you want, and to want it badly enough so that it will stay in your thoughts. Spend as much of your leisure time as you can in contemplating your picture, but no one needs to take exercises to concentrate his mind on a thing which he really wants. It is a thing you do not really care about, which require effort to fix your attention upon them. And unless you really want to get rich, so that the desire is strong enough to hold your thoughts directed to the purpose as the magnetic pole holds the needle of the compass, It will hardly be worthwhile for you to try to carry out the instructions given in this book. The methods herein set forth are for people whose desires for riches is strong enough to overcome mental laziness and the love of ease and make them work. The more clear and definite you make your picture then, and the more you dwell upon it, bringing out all its delightful thoughts or delightful details, the stronger your desire will be, and the stronger your desire, the easier it will be to hold your mind fixed upon the picture of what it is that you want. Something more is necessary, however, than merely to see the picture clearly. If that is all that you do, you are only a dreamer. You will have little or no power for accomplishment. Behind your clear vision must be the purpose to realize it, to bring it into intangible expression. Action. You must take actions. And behold, this purpose must be an invincible and unwavering faith that the thing is already yours, that it is at hand, and you have only to take possession of it. Live in the new house mentally until it takes form around you physically. In the mental realm, enter at once into full enjoyment of the things that you want. Quote, "Whatever things ye ask for when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them," end quote, said Jesus. See the things you want as if they were actually around you all the time. See yourself as owning and using them. Make use of them in imagination, just as you will use them when they are your own tangible possessions. Dwell upon your mental picture until it is clear and distinct, and then take the mental attitude of ownership toward everything in that picture. Take possession of it in mind, in the full faith that it is actually yours. Hold this mental ownership. Do not waver for an instant in the faith that it is real. And remember what was said in the preceding chapter about gratitude. Be as thankful for it all the time as you expect to be when it has taken form. The man who can sincerely thank God for the things which as yet he owns only in his imagination has real faith. He will get rich. He will cause the creation of whatsoever he wants. You do not need to pray repeatedly for things that you want. It is not necessary to tell God about it every day. Quote, "Use not vain repetitions as the heathen do," end quote, said Jesus. Jesus said to his pupils, quote, "For your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things before ye ask him," end quote. Your part is to intelligently formulate your desire for the things which make for a larger life, and to get these desires arranged into a coherent whole, and then to impress this whole desire upon the formless substance, which has the power and the will to bring you what you want. You do not make this impression by repeating set strings of words. You make it by holding the vision with unshakable purpose to attain it, and with steadfast faith that you do attain it. The answer to prayer is not according to your faith while you are talking, but according to your faith while you are working. Take action. You cannot impress the mind of God by having a special Sabbath day to set apart to tell him what you want, and then forgetting him during the rest of the week. You cannot impress him by having special hours to go into your closet and pray, if you then dismiss the matter from your mind until the hour of prayer comes again. Oral prayer is well enough, and has its effect, especially upon yourself, in clarifying your vision and strengthening your faith. But it is not your oral petitions which get you what you want. In order to get rich, you do not need a, quote, "sweet hour of prayer," end quote. You need to, quote, "pray without ceasing," end quote. And by prayer, I mean holding steadily to your vision, with the purpose to cause its creation into solid form, and the faith that you are doing so. Quote, "Believe that ye receive them," end quote. The whole matter turns on receiving. Once you have clearly formed your vision, when you have formed it, it is well to make an oral statement, addressing the Supreme in reverent prayer, and from that moment you must, in mind, receive what you ask for. Live in the new house, wear the fine clothes, ride in the automobile, go on the journey, and confidently plan for greater journeys. Think and speak of all the things you have asked for in terms of actual present ownership. Imagine an environment and a financial condition exactly as you want them. We live all the time in the imaginary environment and financial conditions, and live all the time in that imaginary environment and financial conditions. Mind, however, that you do not make this as a mere dreamer and castle builder. Hold the faith that the imaginary is being realized, and to the purpose to realize it. Remember that it is faith and purpose in the use of the imagination which makes the difference between the scientist and the dreamer. And having learned this fact, it is here that you must learn the proper use of the will. Now there's something I would like to say really quick about the power of your imagination. Your mind, ajna, is the same likeness and quality as God's mind. You were created in God's image. You are an exact replica of the universal spirit. Your spirit is God's spirit. Your mind is God's mind. Your body is, I can't really say it's exactly God's body, because God is consciousness, the intelligent energy which surrounds everything, but He has come and brought this material being as far as it has come so He can express Himself as greatly as He can possibly express Himself through us. And man has been so developed to where God can actually express Himself as a God through us. Jesus the Messiah, He was a man. He was a manifestation of God, and so are all people. So are you, and so am I. We have the power. Now, going back to our imagination, you were born to create. Just as God creates, you, like I said, you were created in His image. You have the power to create, using the power of your imagination. Imagination is the ability of your mind to see something as it is before it really exists. You see something intangible, and then you work with your hands to make it tangible, to exist in the mental world. Remember how he was saying it exists in the physical world. Remember how he was saying first you have to form that vision. You have to see it in your imagination, in your mind's eye. You're seeing it in the mental world. And then you take the necessary steps and actions to form it and make it a reality in the material world. Okay? Capiche? That was pretty cool, huh? And, with that being said, that is the end of chapter 8, and then chapter 9 is going to go over the use of your will. And, that being said, I'll see you guys on the other side of the galaxy, and I'll see you in chapter 9.